You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Swann.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are Rubric, and we can do the intro live, so it works. Rubric family, how's every single one of you? And we promised that we were going to be here for Slammiversary, like the results, Slammiversary 2020. Jean-Paul and I, promised, we had Ryan on. We did previews and predictions for Extreme Rules that's going to be taking place tomorrow. So thank you so very much for that. And, Jean-Paul, I think is one of the first pay-per-views that you watched from Impact. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, or at least it was one of the first I watched as it happened live, because I have watched a bunch of old Impact, TNA pay-per-views, but this is, the first that I watched live, and it was really good. There was a lot of hype behind this show. The Good Brothers, EC3, Eric Young, who was going to show up. We saw all those names and more. But even if you don't count the WWE people who showed up, this was still a really solid show. The main event was good. Again, even take out all the WWE guys, it was still a legit match. Tommy Dreamer, versus Moose, that was legit.
We got Moose, yeah.
And you saw some other returns from non-WWE guys in the opening match. So, lots of legit stuff. And the women's match was, to me, I think almost stole the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was really good.
And both women's matches, because I kind of put them together as one big thing, because, the Battle Royal determined the #1 contender. And then
Pato
obviously we saw the championship match.
Chris is already here watching. So, gracias, Pato. Gracias. Gracias por el apoyo. Right, Jean-Paul? Sí.
Yeah, sí. Gracias, sí.
Sí. So, yeah, Impact was pretty legit. It was, I will say, a pretty good pay-per-view for a lot of people that are not used to with, the stuff that they do. I think
and this thing, what I heard on the internet, a lot of people said this was the first Impact pay-per-view they ever ordered. I saw a lot of people say that. They said the $40, they thought it was worth it. So, Impact, and they were trending #1 worldwide.
Yes.
At the start of Slammiversary as well.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so I will say, it was pretty interesting.
I'm happy for Impact. Yeah, I'm happy for Impact, because anytime any wrestling company is trending like that, that means wrestling is doing good. So
yeah, a lot of things, unfortunately, like you said, we couldn't see Rusev. Rusev was one of the main things that they were going to be showing. They thought Maria Kanellis, Mike Kanellis, or Mike Bennett. Nothing of that happened, but at least we got to see the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. So that I almost say Luke Galloway, but it's Luke Gallows. So it was pretty cool. But Jean-Paul, overall, you think that, for example, is this better than AEW or no?
I would say it's about on par. I think I enjoyed this show. I probably because I enjoyed and thought all the outcomes of the matches were the right outcomes. So that obviously helps you enjoy a show a little more. But I would say this pay-per-view was on par with what we've seen recently from AEW. Now, do I think their best pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, the first Double or Nothing? No, this didn't come close. I thought that was a fantastic pay-per-view. Oh, yeah. But, recently what we saw, this, if you're going to ask me, was this better than Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen? Taz, don't choke me out here. But I'm going to say that, yes, this was better than Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen.
It was. There was a Moose with Tommy Dreamer was pretty good. And we have a new we got a new Impact World Champion. That's Eddie Edwards. So yes. They promise, it goes all the controversy.
And our boy Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan against the North, that was legit. That match, it was I would have rather seen, Ken Shamrock with gold again, but
I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that so bad, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. I was rooting for them. There was we're going to be talking about every single of the spots. So, thank you so very much, family. Don't forget, right here's the social media for all of the outlets that we have, as you can see right there. Subscribe to the original Raw Break on YouTube. We have Raw Break right here on Facebook, and we have the OG Raw Break Twitter, the original Raw Break on Instagram. So please, family, give us a chance. Let us be part of your family, because we love to getting new members in our family.
Exactly.
Now, Paul, let's start with the first match, shall we?
Yeah, so the first match, the Rascals, they had an open challenge. Pretty much anybody, hey, they heard a lot of people. This was Independence Day for the wrestlers. So who's going to show up, or was it going to be a team in Impact open challenge? So a lot of people were thinking maybe the Good Brothers, who was it going to be? Like I said, maybe the Major Brothers, who's Zack Ryder, and Kurt Hawkins, are now Matt Cardona, Brian Myers. Who was it going to be? But it was a returning team. But like we said, it was, from the early days of Impact, and that was the Motor City Machine Guns.
Impact, it is the Motor City Machine Guns, and we were able to cover them. Remember Jean-Paul or Alex Shelley when he was teaming up with Kushida?
Yeah, so, and they actually were. Remember when we did TNA Lockdown from 2005? Yes, they were in that pay-per-view as well. So we got exposure to them there. And like I said, from when we did that a few months ago, I watched a bunch of Impact since then, and I'm a huge fan of Alex Shelley as well. Like you said, when he was in NXT with Kushida, when they reformed the Time Splitters, that was really cool too. But this match was
2 matches and done.
Yeah, well, this, I think the Motor City Machine Guns are going to get a little more than 2 matches out of, their reuniting. And this was a great match to open the show. Lots of fast-paced action. And, it was good, but it was one of those, it was a little predictable too, but I don't care because it was so good. And I love to see the Motor City Machine Guns return. But with that being said, them returning, were they going to lose?
Oh, well, yeah, like that's
what I mean. No, but it was a good way to pop.
At least Impact knows how to do the things right, because like they're not AEW. That's somebody that returns or somebody that they abuse. Like they're gonna make them lose.
And obviously, like I want to say, like them returning popped the crowd. It popped all of us at home. Obviously, there was no crowd, empty arena, but they hit the dirt bomb for the win. So it started off great. I thought.
Oh yeah, it was a good match. And like for example, see the Motor City Machine Gun. They were able to go with the Rascals because you will say the Rascals are like the younger team. So the speed, like the pace of it, like the moves, like they were able to coordinate everything.
Because Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, they're not spring chickens. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm like that's what I mean. Like it's Chris Sabin, especially we haven't seen him in years to really have matches.
Chris Sabin, he just returned. He returned what for that like special Impact show, kind of honoring all the old guys. He returned, and they were probably like, please wrestle. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, and at some point he dated Velvet Sky. He got had a really big future for what it comes to come because he was and also X Division champion.
Yeah, and
he had a lot of good things going on for him.
Yes, and this won't be the last time we saw the Motor City Machine Guns during this pay-per-view. They came out a little later, but then we also saw a backstage segment. Taya Valkyrie, she was talking to Rosemary because they're kind of friends, and they have Johnny Bravo, who I don't watch Impact every week, so you probably know who he is a little more than me.
Johnny Bravo is like the assistant of Taya Valkyrie.
Okay, yeah, but does he also help Rosemary too? I guess.
See, the one thing is like Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie are best friends, so that's why she kind of like the storyline is kind of like they're kind of falling in love, Rosemary with Johnny Bravo, because Taya of course always treats him really bad. It's like, you suck, like I lost my championship because of you. You're supposed to be my policy insurance. You're supposed to make sure that I always win, which is this wasn't the case. When he lost the title to Jordan Grace, but that's the main reason that like Rosemary they became in love with each other because they both hate Taya. But
yeah, so then we saw, but it was just a little backstage segment. So, I mean, that's obviously setting up for that match later on in the night. But then the next match we got to was legit. I wish it was a little longer, but it was legit nonetheless. For the TNA, he took it off, the toy aisle like I did, with the rope break pay-per-view championship. Moose took the TNA heavyweight championship, and he's declaring himself the TNA champion. And he went against Tommy Dreamer in an old school rules match. Yeah,
they have one of the guys that like you said, he called himself, they debuted it. They brought that back. The TNA World
Who did it first? AEW or TNA with the FTW?
It was TNA.
Because Moose was on this for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, TNA, they started that, I think, in June. In early June. It was when Rebellion. That's when we covered Rebellion. After that. It was that's when they debuted it, they went old school with TNA with total nonstop action like the show, and Moose was he self-proclaimed as the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and then he defended the championship against Hernandez. So that's what happened. But I guess nobody. He's you didn't beat anybody for the title, so that's why it's how come you're the champion? How come you're the champion when you didn't do anything.
Yeah, and I love the promo, you know, that Dreamer cut on him, and they spliced it in with Moose was sitting there for a sit-down interview, and he's like, people ask why I'm the champion. He's like, I beat RVD. I beat Rhino. I forget who else he said. Who else did he say?
He did Shamrock.
Shamrock. I mean, but he at first when he was naming all these guys, I'm like, dude, are you just killing ECW? Like, are you gonna say Sabu next? Like what's going on? I mean, legit stuff. I love Moose. I love the heel turn.
Hey, Ash Reynolds. She's saying hi. Also, hi. How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for watching. If you guys didn't know, of course, comments. Did you guys watch the pay-per-view? Did you guys like it? You know, we want to hear from you, family.
Yeah, and also if you didn't watch, but you watched Impact back in the day, comment your favorite moment or something that you thought was bullshit. You know, just comment your thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Like Pato also sends you like a big hug. He says a big hug.
Okay, tell him I sent one back.
Yeah, and the Jean Paul también él te manda un abrazo. Así que gracias. Like always, like, you know, supporting. So that's legit. So let's go back to, like you said, like really good promo with Moose, and this match with Tommy Dreamer. It was, of course, going to be a hardcore match.
Yeah, the old school, and like you said, if you saw, you know, I think you have the picture of Dreamer. Yep,
right there.
Moose sucks eggs like Dusty sucks eggs. I'm sure you guys have seen the old school fans saw Terry Funk, you know, his idol with that shirt for his matches with Dusty Rhodes. But legit stuff here, old school rules. So it's just pretty much like a hardcore match. Anything goes. And, you know, obviously that favored Tommy Dreamer, but this was another match. Moose was on this run. Is Tommy Dreamer going to become the TNA champion? No, unfortunately.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. I mean, you know, Tommy Dreamer is like the guy, at least he knows how to do business. So he's going to be in the pay-per-views kind of like, hey, he's going to like make the pay-per-views more legit. But in the end, is he going to win a championship? I don't think so.
No, and this also, you know, Tommy Dreamer has so much, you know, so many fans. So when he loses, there's going to be the sympathy, which is going to just add more heel heat to Moose. So it just benefits Moose's heel run.
Oh yeah, no, it is, and you know, like Moose. What do you think about Moose though? Now that you've seen him fight and everything,
I mean, I was a fan of him ever since I saw the first match of him. And I remember a couple years ago, before I even saw a match, he had an interview I watched. I think this was before his match against Austin Aries. He had an interview. Yeah, and there's Moose. Spoiler alert, Moose retained his title. But I saw a sit-down interview with him and just listened to his story. I was a fan of him, and seeing him wrestle, you know, the dude is just so athletic. And he's just so legit, and, you know, he's a good worker, I think. And he deserves to be a champion, whether he's, you know, a heel and he just made up this championship, but I think he's legit.
Like, I agree with you. Like, I think that like he deserves the win. He's good. I don't know why he's not fighting, you know, for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're just going with this heel run. They're doing something, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just don't see it in him at this time, or they just want to get these other guys over, and then maybe have him be the champion as a heel.
Oh yeah, no, and also like, see, they won like. Did you like the part that like they have the thumbtacks? So that was
cool. Yeah. And I was just gonna like go over some of the spots here, actually the notes. But I love like when Dreamer, when he hit the cutter onto the garbage can.
Oh yeah,
that was legit. And then when Moose hit the Uranagi on all those pile of chairs. I mean, there was like legit stuff. And like you said, Dreamer got out the thumbtacks, and you know he was gonna pile drive Moose into the thumbtacks, but then Moose got out of it and he was gonna slam Dreamer's face, and he was like, and
somebody was like, no,
yeah, and then Dreamer hulked out of it.
Bitch.
And then I think after he hulked out of it, is that when Moose hit him in the nuts? And then he speared him. Yeah, and then I think he called it a lights out spear, and then boom, he speared him.
And like I said, like I showed the picture.
Yep, and there we go. 1, 2, 3. But I mean, it was legit stuff. And the good thing is, when Dreamer got slammed into the thumbtacks, he it went at like his belly, and I think it like mostly just hit his shirt. I don't think any really stuck in him, so that's good. No, I don't think anybody got stuck with the thumbtacks.
Oh yeah, no. I think that like you said, Dreamer probably has been doing this forever, so Dreamer knows how to take care of himself. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that it went absolutely fine. No harm on what happened.
But like I said, it could have. I mean, obviously, I don't want to see the guys really like, you know, mutilate themselves, but I would have liked to see a little bit more hardcore stuff. Maybe like, you know, slam somebody through some tables or something. But I think this match served its point. Like we said, it's just to keep Moose on his dominant heel run.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I think so. So Jean Paul, take me to the next match then.
And then the next match, now we're going to the number one contender for the Knockouts Championship, so the Knockouts Gauntlet match. And this was good. This had, a lot of women that are talented, some women that are like, okay, they're kind of, they'll get there one day, but they're not there yet. But
that's pretty much the whole women's division right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's what I'm saying. It's like half their division is good, and then the other half.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, in Impact, they call the women's division Knockouts. So that's all they had, all the Knockouts. As you can see right there, we can see Rosemary, we can see Susie, we can see Nevaeh, we can see Kira Hogan, Taya Valkyrie, Kaylee Ray, Havoc, Kimberly, and then the wife of Eddie Edwards is right there. And the last one that looks like the girl from NXT. What's her name? Help me out here. The one that, who I'm talking about. Right here.
Who?
Jordan, Jaden Carter. Yeah. But
Caden Carter. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a pretty good match. I will say, the only thing I didn't like, it was the elimination was over the top rope. I was thinking that it was supposed to be, elimination 1, 2, 3, like pin.
Oh no! So, I mean, if it was pinned, then that would have been way too long. Then that would have been you would have had to only have a third of the amount of women in here. I liked it how it was like a Royal Rumble type. I thought that was cool, and I liked that the story they told, because the winner of this thing was Kaylee Ray, and Kaylee Ray I think is really talented. She's one of those women who is like the ultimate baby face. They want to say, somebody. People make the comparison to Bayley, but how can you not? Not even just on appearance, but the baby face and how she's over, how she sells, and just how she looks. And she's one of those things that's a woman who you push as your number one baby face. WWE, they fucked that up with Bayley. They kept start, stop with her pushes. I think Kaylee Ray, I hope that now that she's in Impact, that's what they're going to do with her. But she actually entered at number 2, which to me is the same as entering at number 1, because obviously 2 people start the match. So she took it all the way to the end, and legit stuff. And the main thing, once a lot of women were in there, they kind of trimmed the fat. Got rid of the final 4. It was Rosemary, Taya Valkyrie, Kaylee Ray, and
Kimberly.
And it was legit because Johnny Bravo came out then in the match too, but dressed as both of them.
Yeah, and why? Because he said, make sure that you come out and make sure I win. Rosemary said the same thing. Taya Valkyrie said the same thing. So he came out as Taya Valkyrie and as Rosemary. He got eliminated both times. So Johnny Bravo added the element of emotion, I will say.
Yeah, and their feud's going to continue because Rosemary had the Hurricane Rana on Kaylee Ray and was going to Hurricane Rana her to the outside. But Kaylee Ray was holding on. And then Taya was oh, let me flip Kaylee Ray over. And I almost thought Taya was going to win and flip them both over. But Kaylee Ray ended up holding on, and Rosemary just fell out. And then she was oh, shit. So that's going to continue their feud, which I think is really good.
Oh, yeah. But, it was good to see. Kaylee Ray's the number 1 contender right now. So that's good. Yeah. You can walk me through the next match, John Paul.
And then the next match we got here was the X Division match with Willie Mack versus Chris Bay. The X Division Championship match. And we were joking around, making the comparison. We're is this Keith Lee versus Swerve Scott? Because it's the same builds, almost kind of same characters. Willie Mack for his size is really athletic. Chris Bay is really good as well. I'm not too familiar with these guys, having seen a lot of matches of theirs, but I have seen highlights and stuff on the internet. And seeing them wrestle for the first time here, it was legit. I was hoping Willie Mack would have retained, but at the end of this thing, Bay rakes his eyes, and then he hits the Art of Finesse, and boom, 1, 2, 3, new X Division champion. We
have a new X Division champion. The reign of Willie Mack lasted pretty short. It was a pretty short reign because he got the title from Ace Austin, and that happened in Rebellion. Pay-per-view that we also cover, because of course Rovery covers absolutely everything meaningful in professional wrestling. So Willie Mack in the kind of his second or third title defense, he loses the championship to Chris Bay right here, boom. And unfortunately I thought that Willie Mack was going to retain, just because kind of Impact, AEW, they kind of look at WWE and they might say, well, if Keith Lee is the champion, then our guy that looks like Keith Lee then he should be the one, retaining. But in this case, they rather go from like Isaiah Swerve Scott or Chris Bay. And I really like his finisher because he does the famouser.
Oh yeah, and you think maybe they could be just continuing a feud because the X Division Championship I've noticed has always been like hot potatoed.
Yes.
So they could continue the feud, and he could have it like Bay could have it for maybe a month or two, and then it goes right back to Willie Mack.
Yeah, and like you said, it was a really good match, and like Chris Bay is pretty good wrestler.
This
Willie
one I
Mack,
thought could have went a little bit longer too. I thought maybe you could have, took a little time somewhere else, put it to this, but I mean it was still a good match, and like I said, hopefully it continues the feud.
Yeah, well, like, or maybe what they're doing, like Willie Mack might be, push all the way to like the Impact World Heavyweight.
Yeah, or maybe he'll feud with Moose.
Going against Moose. Yeah. So, before we move on, family, thank you so very much for supporting us, watching this. Comment, please. Let us know what you guys think about this. Also, like, if you guys like this new initiative that we're doing, we're going to be reviewing a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of predictions and everything right here going live. So every single one of you can also like interact with us. Let us know comments. Did you guys enjoy the pay-per-view? What did you like? What you didn't like? So, right there, also help us out subscribing to the YouTube page.
Yes, please.
Original Road Break. Right here is all the social media for us, guys. So, like, help us out with that. So, Jean-Paul, take me out to the next part of the show.
And then we saw probably one of my favorite things. We saw Heath Slater, baby, reunite.
Yeah, the debut on Impact of the guys that, like, has kids. A guy that, like, we saw him on Monday Night Raw. What was it? Like, it was like a week ago. About 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
and then
like in a really quick match with McIntyre, kind of reliving the days of like 3MB. Well, right here, let me do the voila. There you go.
There he is, free agent T-shirt.
They got his free agent right there. Yep.
I mean, it was legit. He came out and he's like, pretty much, he said like they're gonna have a match, for the vacant championship. Hey, there's gonna be a fourth man. I'm here. Why can't it be me? And like we said, he's in the best shape of his life. He looks good. And he was also then later on reunited with his partner Rhino, which we saw. So that was really cool for Heath Slater. I forget who was it who called them out? What was his?
Sanjay Doe. I think that's Sanjay Doe. That's the guy that like came out. That came out. He's like a mid card. He's part of like an Indian group that they have on Impact. Yeah. And he came out and he was pretty much talking and saying, hey, like, I will be damned if you get a championship opportunity before me. I've been here, longer than you. How come you just show up out of nowhere and you demand opportunities? Just because you're the hottest free agent, and not too long ago, you just lost a World Heavyweight Championship match, and that was against, the Drew McIntyre thing. So, like, pretty much, like, he was, like, making fun of that. But then Heath Slater, like, acted, like, pretty cool, and then he did, like, a really nice move. He attacked him with like a really nice move. I don't know what the move was called, but it was like
I thought the same thing. I was like, if that's his finisher or his signature, that's a legit move.
Oh yeah, like it was good, and you can see how good like he can be on Impact. It's good. Like he's in the best shape of his life. He's reinventing himself, so that's pretty good. And later on in the show, Jean-Paul, like he was also be able to reunite with his friend.
Yeah, with Rhino, that was legit. They were talking, and it's they're like, and like look at Slater next to Rhino. Like Rhino's he was like pretty stocky to begin with, but like Slater looks like he makes Rhino look small. I think in that picture, but it was legit. And then obviously Scott D'Amore came up, and he's like, hey, because of COVID, you're not employed with us. You're the hottest free agent, but that's just it. You're a free agent. You're not employed with us, so we didn't test you. We don't know. Obviously, it's like kayfabe in it. Trying to make it seem legit. So they're like, hey, you can talk to Rhino for a little bit, but we got to get you out of here. Exactly. So then obviously we didn't see Slater like legit wrestle a match, but hey, that's why you got to tune in on Tuesday. And I'm going to be honest, they got me hooked because with all the reveals and everybody we saw tonight, I'm going to be watching Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching on Tuesday on Access TV, for the people that are going to be interested in watching. 8 p.m. on every single Tuesday, you can see Impact. You'll see the beautiful disclaimer that like this show has a little bit of like a nudity.
A little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Katie Forbes' ass, the bubbly.
Katie Forbes, we got to see her in the gauntlet match for the #1 contender. So she showed up right there. Kira Kogan was actually encouraging her to twerk. So
that was a little bit. That was like for the for the hungry fans. They fed us some cake.
Yeah, they give us a little bit of peach, so that's absolutely fine. But Jean Paul, then I'm excited of Heath Slater. It's a good opportunity for him.
Oh yeah,
to show what he's really made of.
That's what I mean. All these guys, and it's a shame because, and it's a shame, but it's it is what it is. How like a lot of people when they see Heath Slater and they're going to see Brian Myers, Zack Ryder, all these guys, even EC3 to a certain extent. They're going to, and the Good Brothers, they're going to see these guys and they'll be like, oh, those were the losers from WWE.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just how they were portrayed. So I'm happy that they're finally going to be able to show themselves like, hey, I'm legit.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be fine with that. So, take me now, Jean Paul, to the next part of the show.
Now, the next match, here's one where I was kind of like, I wish the decision was different, but I guess storyline-wise and everything else, it makes sense. And that was for the tag team champions, or the championships, and that was Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, the North, versus Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock.
And for the one, for the old timers that are watching the show, right there is Ken Shamrock. You guys can remember him, the most dangerous man on the face of the earth, the creator of the Uncle Log. Yep, he is still wrestling right there.
Mm-hmm.
He got a championship opportunity right there. And to me, was
he just inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame? They said, or Impact?
He hasn't been inducted yet. He's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they haven't had the ceremony. That always takes place the day before Bound for Glory.
And that's in October, which of course Rope Break will be covering.
Of course, we will be covering the Bound for Glory, of course. And so this match to me was pretty good. Ken Shamrock, at the age that he is, I think he's almost 52, 53. He can still move. He can still do the moves pretty good. He doesn't look lost. So I really like that. The connection with Sami Callihan for storyline purposes work as long as they were meant to make it work. But then, they kind of went at each other. They missed some moves. And that's why kind of the North took advantage of that. But
yeah. And I love when Shamrock hit that huge. Shamrock looked good. Sami Callihan for his build. He's obviously not really tall. He's not really jacked. He's kind of a little short, kind of pudgy. But, he's an excellent wrestler. I think he can sell really well. And he's a pretty good worker. I think he carried most of the load when Shamrock came in. It was always hot, especially at the end when he hit that huge belly to belly. Or super belly to belly. That was really good. And a Shamrock, I think, still got it. And one thing I love that they hinted, they're like, oh yeah, somebody asked Ken Shamrock if he'd like to wrestle Kurt Angle, and he actually said he'd be open to it. So they said that, and obviously commentary can say whatever. But it's maybe that's a hint at something in the future. That would be really cool, but we'll see.
Yeah, I really think that that could be an opportunity.
But the only thing is hopefully, yeah, like you said, is Kurt Angle under contract, or was he just doing a couple vignettes for WWE, with or not vignettes, when he was reffing and this and that with Riddle and Thatcher, or if he's a free agent. Will he go to Impact, and also will he be able to do anything? Because his last run, when he retired, I'm sorry, but it was pretty bad. But this match was not pretty bad. This was pretty good. Like we said, the ending of this thing, I guess storyline wise and everything, it makes sense. But the North, they're able to they put Shamrock away with their double team finisher. What do you know what the finisher is called?
I really don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. But they put him away, and like we say, it was legit.
Move. It's really cool though. It's kind of they leap you up in the air, both of them is holding one each arm, and then they slam you really hard.
Yeah,
and all this it's a pretty good tag team, and I think they're the longest tag team champions in the history of Impact.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. And the North, and see, that's why it all makes sense, because after the thing, they said that they are the greatest team in Impact history. And then, of course, like we said at the beginning of this show, one of the greatest teams in Impact history reunited.
Harley's watching. Hi, Harley. How you doing? There you go. Yeah, go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You always got to shout out the family. So they join in.
Yep.
Yeah, the family's legit. So they join in, and they said, hey, we disagree. We think that we're the greatest tag team in Impact Wrestling history. So then they're like, we're challenge you for your titles. And I believe that is going to be on Tuesday, unless I'm wrong.
It's going to be on Tuesday. Yep. It's going to be this Tuesday. Yep. Yeah. They're going to have a title tag team championship match with the Motor City Machine Gun. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be legit. And again, another reason you want to tune in on Tuesday. So then before the next match, Gia Miller, she attempts to get an interview with the Good Brothers. She's like, oh, second time she's trying to get an interview with them. She's like, okay, hopefully it's legit. She's like, this should be their locker room. She opens it up. Rich Swann, who's on crutches, he's like, oh, hey, and she's like, hey, where's the Good Brothers? And he's like, oh, okay, when I'm cleared to compete, I'm going to be challenging for the Impact World title. And it's like, okay, what the hell does that have to do with the Good Brothers? But that was just, I guess hints
that was
of
a
things
hint.
to
That
come.
was a thing for what was to come. So, like, okay, and Rick Swann, he's a really good wrestler. He was in WWE. He was Cruiserweight champion in WWE. But unfortunately, he had a situation that he was accused of, like, beating his wife. So that's why, like, he had to be released from WWE. But, hey, he reinvented himself, but he had quit wrestling. But then, like, Willie Mack, that they call him. They're like, hey, come to Impact. It will be good. You'll be able to, like, create a new Rick Swann. And then that's what he did. And he was also X Division champion. Yeah. So
he's a hell of a wrestler. Was he proven guilty of that, or did she drop the charges? That I'm not sure. I mean,
I don't really remember.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I'll say on that is domestic violence is always wrong. There's never a defense for it.
Not an excuse to do ever, Don't ever hit anybody, either whether you're a woman, either you're the guy. Violence is not, a choice.
Yeah, the only violence that's legit is when it's predetermined like this.
Yes, and when you're playing a game. So
next match,
Knockouts Championship match.
Yes, and this, in my opinion, is my favorite match of the night. This is the highlight for me. There it is. We got to see our girl Deonna Purrazzo making her, Impact pay-per-view debut, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
So she's here, and she's challenging for the title.
My semi-goddess, I kind of like her, but I dislike her at the same time. It's a girl that, we used to like her more before, but, the Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, Paul. So
against the virtuoso, Deonna Purrazzo, and this was legit. This match, they gave time to it. It wasn't quick. I was thinking, oh man, is this thing only going to be like 7-8 minutes and done? No, they gave them time, and they told the story. She kept working over the arm. Jordynne Grace would try to hit moves, and it's like, oh, she didn't get all of it because she was selling the arm injury. And like when they actually tell a story and work over a body part, it's good, and that just shows how technical and how legit Purrazzo is. And I just want to touch on, it's like, well, why didn't NXT push her? They don't know how to push talent, or people want to bash NXT. I think it was they just had so many people. It was like, you can't push all of them.
It is true. It is true that what you're saying, like you said, we're going to go really quick about this, but like pretty much he said in an interview, is like, I was waiting for my opportunity. That opportunity never came. But it's like you said, there were so many women that like at some point they needed to just like, there were more women like ahead of her. So that's the only reason. But like she was very talented,
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, she came in like when I went back and started watching NXT from the beginning, till where we are now currently. It was, she was there for a while. But then it's like the likes of Asuka there, and then it's like, oh, okay. Then you get the Kairi Sanes and the Ember Moons and the Nikki Crosses and Shayna Baszler, and then Shayna obviously went on her, I don't want to call it a reign of terror because it was a legit run, but to the rest of the women, it was a reign of terror because she held the belt for so long. So, nobody else really got those chances. Like, look at Chelsea Green. She already got called up, I guess. She didn't even get a chance to smell the belt.
Yes, that's true. No, it is true. But like in this match, though, I really like the intensity of Jordynne Grace, and also how like Purrazzo it was able to show what she's really made of. She was able to show her skill, and that she's a real wrestler. Because it's more, she's more technical rather than Jordynne.
And I'm gonna say this I'm gonna quote wrestlers promos without a shadow of a doubt. I'm gonna say that the Knockouts division is better than AEW's women's division.
Yeah, I think that they have a lot of talent, so that's pretty cool, and also I really like the thing when remember they did the old school thing when she had him in the armbar, she was the referee went like this, 1.
Well, she was
because in WWE they don't use that anymore.
Yeah, Jordynne Grace was had her in the submission. She's like, check the arm, because the ref was just like Deonna, are you good? And she's like, shut the hell up, check her arm.
Yeah.
And he lifts up the arm, but she's like, she didn't let it go down. She was hulking up. So that was legit. And of course, the ending of this thing, because she's the master of the arm bar, She gets the one arm bar in, and they're like, oh, she's got her hooked. She reaches, grabs the second arm, yanks it back, and as soon as she locked in both arms, you knew it was done. Within 5 seconds, Jordynne Grace says, I quit. New Knockouts champion.
Steve Logan, right there with us. He's right here watching us. Thank you, Steven. Good friend of the house. He loves Jean-Paul.
Steven?
He loves me. Steven, he's also like a big fan of wrestling. He is very knowledgeable of everything. This guy knows. He even, he was talking to me about matches on New Japan. He was talking about the rivalry with Dean Ambrose. At that time, Dean Ambrose against William Regal. Really knowledgeable guy. He knows a lot of wrestling.
That's legit.
Really great guy. All the love and, thank you for everything that you do for us. But in the end, like you said, armbar, and then what do we have?
There it is. Yep, new Knockouts Women's Champion. So legit.
Oh, thank you for the hair. He says the haircut looks good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Steven. Thank you again. Like I said, you're a great guy. Your support means the world to us. But Deonna Purrazzo, is the championship, Jean-Paul. What do you think? You were really happy with this?
Oh no, I think this is the right choice. AEW, again, I'm not going to keep shitting on him, but if Tom was here, he'd be loving it. Because this is how you do a debut. You build somebody up, okay. They debut for about a month or two before the next pay-per-view. You build them up. Then when it gets to the pay-per-view, you give them that big win, and then they're pushed to the top. That's what Deonna Purrazzo did. She gets pushed to the top. To me, I don't know if she's a heel or if she's babyface. I feel like... but maybe she's babyface to me because it's like you're seeing her succeed and it's like, oh, you feel legit for her. But she's a heel, like you said. And who won this battle royal? The ultimate babyface, or the Rumble Royal, you could say, the ultimate babyface. Yeah. So boom, that is the perfect matchup. And I think you got to build it and stretch it to Bound for Glory. I know that's in October. That's 3-4 months away. Can they do it? I think they can, but we'll see.
We'll see, but again, I want to shout out Steven. He's really good. He knows a lot of wrestling. This guy is, a motor machine gun. When it comes to wrestling, and he was. I want to know your thoughts, Steven. So tell me, what do you feel about Deonna Purrazzo being the new Knockouts champion? Like you said, I think that it was important because even Don Callis was back on commentary with Josh Matthews, and he was like, "Oh, there's no way that Deonna can beat Jordynne. There's no way." Remember, he was on commentary. There's no way. And it's can Kaylee Ray beat Jordynne? No, don't way.
Yeah, I love when Kaylee Ray won. Yeah, he's can she beat? Can she beat Jordynne? No.
Yeah, it's do you like somebody? Can somebody beat it? But the match is to me this match was even, I will say, and I'm sorry for the people that get mad at me. It was better than Io Shirai against Tegan Nox. That was
Oh really, yeah, no, it was definitely better. It was definitely better. Because I feel like it was longer. Well, it was definitely longer, and it actually told a story. Yeah. And it wasn't no offense, and I almost blame that on Tegan. I would say more than Io, but it wasn't as sloppy. I didn't think either.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was two different styles. So it's a combination, so we can see that different AJ styles match up. Mm-hmm. It's fine because powerhousing Jordynne, but we're really technical in the others. But yes, we have a new Knockouts champion, so good. The reign of terror, no, it's not the reign of terror. It's the short reign of Jordynne Grace comes to an end. But we'll see what happens. Maybe there's going to be a rematch before that, or Kaylee Ray.
And in the Battle Royal, there was a lot of women. Like we said, the Knockouts division. It's not as good as NXT, but it is still very good. They did hint about the Knockouts tag team belt, so maybe they'll bring those back. So that would be cool as well.
I'm glad that the Motor Machine Gun and the Good Brothers are there. Hope Heath and Deonna succeed too. Deonna was a missed opportunity in WWE. Absolutely. Yeah, there it is for Steven, right there. Yeah.
There's the Good Brothers.
Yeah, there you go. The Good Brothers for a good brother right there, Yeah. There you go. So, hope you like that. So now, Jean-Paul, let's go to the main event. There was a lot of speculations. Tessa, was able to give this more, made it more controversial than anything. And also Michael Elwin. Great wrestler. I love Michael Elwin, but unfortunately, if you do, naughty things outside of the ring, you're going to get the consequences for it. But two spots remain.
So this match was Ace Austin with Madman Fulton. Obviously, he came out with him versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey, and then it's supposed to be then a mystery opponent. So it was three of them and a mystery guy. All right, so then the three of them made their way to the ring, and we're all waiting. Is it Sting? Is it Kurt Angle? Is it Eric Young? Is it EC3? Who's it gonna be? It's Rich Swann. He comes out with the crutches and the commentary selling it. Oh, this guy's not going to wrestle. Don't get excited, folks. Isn't going to be anything. He stands up straight and starts dancing with the crutches in his hands. So you know he's good. He said, when he's cleared, he's going to challenge, and that is tonight. So he was the fourth guy. And then did Eric Young, did his music hit right when it started, or did it actually?
Or when it was about to start. Then
I wasn't sure if it just started or if it was right about to. But then Eric Young, he comes out, and for those who might not remember, if you just remember his Sanity look, he actually did shave his head and was completely bald in the last two job matches.
Like he had when he beat Almas, when Almas beat him.
He was bald like that. Yeah. So
and
he's still.
Example before we continue, I do wish the Good Brothers were in AEW or New Japan, but the pandemic is limiting the travel. Is this true?
That, and I also think with AEW, like we said, there's a lot of teams in there. I don't think they'd flourish. I feel like at Impact, they'll be a big fish in a small pond, so they'll be able to flourish, and they can eventually leave and go to Japan or go to AEW.
Yeah, right.
But I think Impact is now,
days, yes. But like now, Jean-Paul, let's go back to like the main event. So Eric Young comes out, and
so Eric Young, he comes out, and obviously he cuts a promo. He's like, what do they call him?
They call him Eric Young. No,
I forget what. The classic maniac, or the world class maniac they call him. So he's like, I'm the world class maniac. This is a world class return. This is going to be a 5-way match for the Impact Championship. So now we get a 5-way, which wasn't it originally a 5-way?
It was a 5-way.
Yeah, so now we go back to the 5-way, and this match was given a lot of time. Like I said, it was long, which was good for the championship match. That's what you want, and it was an elimination, which, like we said, is always legit. And the guys, like, you look in here, you think, okay, who's the weakest? It's probably going to be Trey, or like, okay, it's not going to be the returning Rich Swann and the debuting Eric Young. Is Austin Ace going to win, or is Eddie Edwards going to get his revenge, like his long-time coming revenge on Austin Ace? Trey also has revenge, so there's a lot of intermixing stories in the main event too, which I thought really made it legit.
Oh, yeah, no, it was good. Like you said, Trey was like the weakest link. Why? Because they just put him there, right? Maybe thinking that Tessa was going to be there, Michael Elwin was going to be there, and Trey also has like the rivalry with Ace Austin. For the ones that are not familiar with Impact, like the mom, Trey's mom was kind of like, they were playing a MILF, pretty much. They were playing the MILF story, so Ace Austin was kind of flirting with the mom. And
because he was flirting with Eddie Edwards' girlfriend too, wasn't he?
Yes, with the wife, yes.
Yeah,
so, that was pretty much the same. But like the one thing, and that's why Trey pretty much focused his attack on Ace Austin. He pretty much didn't care about winning the championship.
No, and because of that, he was the first elimination. Eddie Edwards. He hit I think it was a tiger suplex or tiger driver. Excuse me, with the tiger driver, and then Trey comes in with the double foot stomp, breaks up the pin, and it's like, because he wanted to be the one who pins Ace Austin. He didn't want it to be anybody else. So it's like, okay, he let his anger and probably his youth and inexperience get in the way. So Eric Young picks him up. He hits that like jumping, like spinning pile driver. Boom. You ain't getting up from that. 1, 2, 3. So he's the first guy eliminated. And again, like we said, he was the weakest link. So it makes sense that he was the first to go.
Yeah, and then Rick Swann kind of went with Eric Young, that he got busted open, and I guess the blood was like kind of like stopping him from like seeing. He was blocking his like vision, and Don Callis was like, "Oh my God, they got to stop the match! Oh God!" But like,
he's like, they got to take Eric Young out. I'm like, dude, there's no way.
No, they're not gonna.
Like, don't even try to sell it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna do that, but like, it was good though, because see, like, Rick Swann is still a great wrestler.
Oh, Rich Swann is so legit.
More athletic than Kofi. And
he's so legit.
Like more athletic than Swerve Scott, more athletic than all those kind of guys that have the league and everything.
Yeah, and it would be hard for him to get sympathy, especially if he was guilty of what he was charged for. But he can sell like nobody's business too.
Get him out a little bit.
What's that?
Dolph Ziggler, when he sells the moves and everything, he sells really good. Yeah.
But I like the spot when then Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin were up in the corner, and they knocked them down through the table on the outside. That was legit. So that like took them out. Eric Young and Rich Swann, they knocked them down. And then I think it was back and forth. I think he just rolled up.
Yeah.
Eric Young. They kind of had roll-up attempts.
But then Eric Young kind of went really nuts, and then he started attacking the leg. The newly good-to-go leg. and then he kept going, like he put like the chair in between the leg, and then boom, went at it, and then he hit a few chair shots on the leg, like because it was right on the turnbuckle. He kept going, so like, oh, he's a maniac! Oh my god! Like,
yeah, and that's legit because it sets up a feud. You have the like returning babyface Rich Swann, the debuting crazy man Eric Young. To me, that's a hot feud for Impact, and that will be legit because then. And I also like how they handled Rich Swann. You know, he's laying there in the ring. He's like, "Oh, I'm done." Ace Austin runs in to pick the bones. And they actually had a little back and forth. Rich Swann, you know, they didn't job him out after this. He fought back valiantly. Of course, he hit, I think, what does he call it? I want to say the Royal Flush, but that's not what it's called.
No, I think Royal something, but it was his finish.
Yeah. It's some kind, it's named after a card because he kind of is like ripping off Gambit from X-Men, which is legit. Yeah. I love the gimmick. Yeah. And, like, you know, he pins Rich Swann. The Flush. It's called the Flush, like a Royal Flush. So he hits the Flush. Boom. 1, 2, 3. So then it's down to Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin.
It was up to both of them, and they had a really good back and forth. But you know, in the end, and then Eddie Edwards ends up pinning Ace Austin. So that was. And
I love how they hit their signatures twice. Like they hit the signature kick out, and then he hit the flush, kicked out, and then you know he hit his signature again, which he does. He does almost like a spinning, like a kick to the head.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it, but he hit that, and then he hits his finisher. 1, 2, 3. He's the new champ. He gets his revenge.
So the Magic Jumbo.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Eddie Edwards. Yeah.
So that's legit. Like I said, it's a legit story for him. With Eric Young being the debuting guy, you know, it would have been hard for. It's like, you're gonna have him be the winner. No, Ace Austin would have been legit, but you know he's young. I don't know if they want to put the title on him in that story. I think that like the safest bet in this match was definitely Eddie Edwards. So I can't complain too much with who won this match.
Well, like you know, I think they're going for like the guy that like they know. You know, he's been Impact champion before, and you know he's stayed. Maybe he had opportunities to go to WWE, but he's a man of the house. You know what I mean? He's Impact grown. He had a great rivalry with like Sami Callihan. So he's like out of all these guys, maybe Ace Austin is not ready yet. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And also the feud definitely looks like it's going to continue because one thing we forgot to mention, minor detail, Madman Fulton early on got sent to the back. It was like, dude, you're out of here. So then of course
when this part of Sami Callihan's like team, and now he's with Ace Austin for the ones that want all the backstory.
Yes, thank you. And then so obviously he came out when his boy Ace Austin lost, so he's pissed and it's like they start giving the boots
right away they start beating him up.
Yeah, so they're giving him the boots. They're like, screw you. So then boom, whose music hits? I thought they weren't gonna actually debut and they were gonna give us the finger, but no, Too Sweet Baby, the Good Brothers, they come out.
There's Sam. Yeah, that's my girl. Hey Sam, how are you? Hey,
that's legit.
Thanks for watching. Hey Sam. Yep. Thanks for watching. She's a sweetheart. All the love. Thank you. She's amazing. Yeah, I love her. Yeah, so tell me who comes out.
So then, like I said, the Good Brothers, they come out to make the save. And of course, Fulton and Austin, they're looking at him. They're like, hey, you want to join up with us? Yeah, he's the top dog. Let's take him out. Join with us. It'll be legit. And they're like, okay. And then they're like, nope, and they start, giving the boots to Fulton and Austin, and then of course Eddie Edwards, he fights back. They throw out they hit the Magic Killer.
Eddie Edwards jump. Yeah, they join him. Like that was cool. Yeah,
I like it. I mean, it's like unfortunately the Good Brothers. I think they'll handle them legit here. I would like to kind of just see them maybe call out, the North, but they did that with the Motor City Machine Guns. Maybe they call out the winner from that. I don't like how they got to put them with a singles guy.
Yeah, like it's like you're like enough of a tag team to like you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, can it just be the two of them? Like, you got to put them with a singles guy. I know that looks legit, like when it's Balor or it's AJ, but
it's like every time that they debut, like they have to go with like a singles guy that has a bigger name than they is. Like,
it's like
can we ever be legit? But no, it doesn't seem like that. But they did the Magic Killer, so that was good, and they call it the Magic Killer. So I guess they own the rights to like their finisher, so that's good.
Yeah, and like I said, and then they're all drinking beer. It's like Stone Cold, they're all drinking, beer. So that was legit, and that was the end of Slammiversary, or was it? Well, we had like everything is like going like kind of they did like a WWE
back in the day, you know, it's like, okay, it's done.
Because Josh Matthews and Don Callis, they're like, oh, thanks for watching Slammiversary. You know, it's legit. And then as soon as it goes off, you just see 3 claw marks. Like, I'm like, are we drinking Monster? Is it 2 for 4 deal going on? I'm like,
2 for 4 at Wawa. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah.
But, you know, but, you know, But
I'm like, what's going on here? Boom. And then you see EC3. There he is, but he had his back turned. He turns around. He had a little scotch glass in his hand, throws it against the wall. He's like, Monster's a bullshit drink anyway. And you know what I mean? And he walks off. So that's legit. And it's, you know, so EC3. So how many debuts, like we said, Motor City Machine Guns reformed, the Good Brothers, Eric Young, Rich Swann. I wouldn't really count that as a return, but return to the ring. Eric Young, Heath Slater, baby. So look at all these returns and debuts. Impact, you know what I mean? Impact's making a case. They said, hey, we're not going to let AEW just run away with second place. We're going to fight for second place. You know what I mean? Like, they're fighting.
Steven is saying, like, I think that, like, Gallows, I think that, like, the Good Brothers have their own beer brand. That's why, like, their own
that's
Steve
legit.
Weisers. Their own Steve Weisers, yeah. Like,
that's legit.
Steven knows a lot. So, like, yeah, they have their own Steve Weisers, and he was an essential character number 3, going back to the roots. Easy 3, you know, he was like, he had like his momentum and being here on Impact, so it's pretty much, you gotta go where they love you. That's the reason, like I said.
That's the thing. If they know how to use him, they know how to present him. He's been their world champion before. They liked him as their world champion. He'll probably be their world champion again. So why not? Why go to WWE where you're made into a joke? You know what I mean? So, like, I don't blame him. If he would have debuted in New Japan or AEW, which he is going to do AEW, like we said, it does seem like he might be trying to do both. So if he can make it work, more power to him. But definitely being an Impact is a right choice.
Like, they use him correctly. But before we go off, you know, before we're done with this, I want to wish Sam also a happy birthday because her birthday was actually last Saturday. So that's why today.
Okay, happy belated birthday.
Belated birthday, Sam. You know, she's having a few Steve Weisers. You know, so that's legit.
Oh, that's legit.
Having a little bit of the bubbly. So that's also amazing. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy it. You know, thank you so very much for watching. And again, also to Steven and everybody that's been watching. But this pay-per-view is doing a lot for Impact. I think that, like, as a brand, as a company, they're starting to, like, go in the right direction. And that's important. You know, the fact that they were able to trend worldwide on Twitter, that's important. That's definitely a big thing. That's a big thing because it's not like we're not thinking of Impact as the days that, like, nobody cared. You know, post the era of Bishop, Hogan, you know, Flair, Mick Foley, you know, like all of that aces and eights. There was a lot of talk about Bully Ray coming back, and, like, you know, didn't turn out to be a reality. But like I said, we couldn't see Rusev because he has COVID. But in the end, I think it was a pretty good pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, I think the highlights of this were definitely all the debuts. You know, Deonna Purrazzo was a personal highlight, and I think the Knockouts division, you know, they're going to keep growing. They're going to say, hey, they're going to challenge the NXT Women's division for the number 1, you know, in the world, I think.
I would say that, for example, like, if we call, like, you know, they're not using them right, and then, like I said, we will talk to Steven a little bit more because he loves AEW also. So it's important to, like, just have conversations. AEW has the best tag team division. You know, the Knockouts division is pretty good, you know. I will say, I don't want to say it's better than NXT, but it's right there. You know, it's right there.
Yeah, I would say NXT definitely has more people that are, like, talented, right, but I think the Knockouts are, like, they're growing. They have a lot of, you know, very underrated women, and they also have some women that they just like to shake their ass, and that's about it. So.
Well, you know, like the Katie Fords, you know, it's like, blame that on your boy because you love him because he's the original bro. You know, he's not even mad. He's Matt Riddle before there was Matt Riddle. So, you know, because of your buddy, like, you know, there's Katie Force. So, you know, but that's fine because, you know, he's one of a kind. So, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, let's remind everybody before we off the air, say that all of our social media. I hope that you guys like this new initiative that we have. Let us know in the comments. Do you guys like where we do the shows live like this so everybody can enjoy, you know, right there? Like, don't forget to subscribe, like, to the original Raw Break on YouTube for all the videos, for all the content that we do. Right here on Raw Break, just give us a like, you know, we love that. OG Raw Breaks for the Twitter, so, you know, we have our opinions over there. You know, it's more like opinion related. And for pictures and for, like, artwork and also for all the results and everything, the original Raw Break on Instagram. So, Jean-Paul,
exactly.
We want to say hi again and thank you one more time to everybody that's watching. to Steven, Tom Libel, everybody, Sam, Pato, everybody that watches, thank you so very much. And, we will be back tomorrow because we have Stream Rules. Stream Rules like a horror show. And if you guys want to watch, we had a video with our newest edition of the Robert family, Ryan Whitman. We have the previews and predictions. So is also like the video is on the page. So check it out. And like we're going to be fighting for what, Jean Paul? Well, show it. Where's the Robert Championship? Right there, yeah.
That's right.
For that, we're gonna go like my predictions against Jean Paul's and against Ryan. So we have everything on paper and on video. So whoever wins, becomes the new champion, or Jean Paul retains because he's like Moose. So he's self-proclaimed, the first Robert champion. So
I dusted it off the shelf at Target. Yeah. I found it, and I was like, "This is mine. I'm the new champion."
Exactly. So Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing left to say. That is, family. Thank you again. We'll see you soon. We'll see you for tomorrow. Enjoy this video. Enjoy everything of the content that we have. And we'll be back for Stream Rules. So, Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say. And that is...